Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to Cooking with Frenchy, cooking and baking made easy. This week I'm taking you back to Brittany, northwest coast of France, the country of the crepes or the galette. If you check the link under the video in the description, you will find out on my blog my recipe and the story and the legend of the crepe. So before further ado, make sure you subscribe to my channel, change your notification bell setting, and check out this recipe. I hope you enjoy it. It's an easy one. Everybody will love you for it. Best recipe of crepes ever. Share it, comment, like it, put it all over your social media. Thank you very much and thank you for watching. For this recipe you will need a bit of milk, bit of sugar, bit of butter, some vanilla paste, few eggs, of course some rum, salt, cream, and also flour. The first thing that I do is to melt my butter over the microwave just for a few seconds. I'm using a large bowl and I'm putting all my wet ingredients such as the milk. I'm also going to add the cream and I will add the eggs. Here I'm going to use a hand blender to facilitate the task and make sure that all the ingredients are well blended together. Once this is done, I will be focusing on the flour. I add the sugar with it, and also, what else do I add? The salt, of course, and I will sieve everything together all at once. Like this, I only use the manipulation once and that's enough. So this is a big thing about pastry and making cakes or making batters. Generally what we used to do is to have the wet ingredients on one side and the dry ingredients on the other side, and we combine them together. So in a larger bowl here I'm just putting all my dry ingredients, create a little well, and I will slowly incorporate my wet ingredients into it. So the technique I always use is to keep the whisk at the middle of the bowl and keep pouring slowly and gently my liquid ingredients. If you have watched my pancake recipe, I use exactly the same technique. As I feel my batter getting a little bit thicker, I'm adding a little bit more liquid. By using this technique of the whisk in the middle of the bowl, I'm avoiding to add too many lumps. The less I work or the less I mix, the less time I need my batter to rest. Once this is done, things you should always do is to sieve your batter. Very important to do so. Once you go through the sieve, you will see that will avoid you to have, for example, big lumps of flour or sometimes eggshell, as I've seen in the past. So sieving it's safer. If you do have big lumps, please redo your batter with the flour. Try to remix it again. Otherwise, your batter won't have the same consistency and you will have trouble cooking the crepes. I'm using vanilla paste. I'm adding a teaspoon. You could scrape a full pod of vanilla or use about 5 ml of vanilla essence if you can't find it. I'm adding my butter to it and also my flavor, which today is rum. You could use Grand Marnier, Cointreau, Triple Sec if you were doing Suzette crepes, and I love my rum. Or you could use Scotch, whiskey, brandy, Calvados, cognac, any other alcohols that you like. You don't have to use alcohol, of course, you can just keep it with the vanilla flavor. Give it a good mix, wrap it up, put it in the fridge for about an hour. You could keep that batter for about 24 hours, at least 48 hours will give you a little bit more of a sour taste, but it still will work. Here I'm using a crepe pan. I'm using a bit of a spray oil to grease my pan, and I do that between each and every single crepes. Very important. Try to use a non-stick pan if you don't have a crepe pan, or a pan that you dedicate to crepes or making omelette, for example. As you see here, I'm using a full ladle, and as I pour the ladle into the pan, I'm having a circular movement of my wrist just to make sure that the batter is really spread all over the pan. And as you see, the crepe is going to cook about for a minute on one side, and you see those little holes. It's a very good indication that the batter is done quite well. Once you're done, you use a spatula, lift the crepe a little bit or go around the edge of the crepe in the pan. Use your spatula, slide your spatula under the crepe, lift it straight up and flake it upside down. Another minute and bing, your crepe is cooked and should have that golden color. As my grandma used to do, I spread a little bit of sugar on top and waiting for the next crepe. And here you see again that circular motion as I pour my batter into the pan. One thing you got to check is the heat of the pan, Let's make sure it doesn't burn or cook too quickly. If it's burned too fast or cooked quickly on the edge, it's going to go brown and dry. If it's not cooked enough, they're going to remain pale and pasty, a bit like doughy, kind of plasticky. Your crepe should be about 1 millimeter thin, like paper thin, and look at that golden color. You can add a little bit more sugar on top and waiting for the next one. As they go on top of each other, it keeps the moisture into the crepes, and you can keep them for 2 to 3 days in the fridge if you want, but trust me, they didn't last long at home. Look at that texture, so yum. I hope you enjoy it. There's many ways you can have crepes. I just had it with sugar and lemon. You can make it as crepe Suzette style. How good do they look? Crepes are so easy to make. You can prepare the batter in advance. This one is sweet. From those crepes you can make Suzette, sugar, lemon, Nutella, peanut butter, almond, raspberry, jam, any jam, preserve, butter, anything you want. You can also reduce the sugar content and make them savory as well. However, the traditional savory crepes in France is made with buckwheat flour. So if you can't find buckwheat flour, don't worry too much about it. However, if you can, they are great. Nevertheless, what you can do is to fill it up with some thick white sauce, what we call bechamel sauce, and have a different filling inside. For example, ham, eggs and cheese, really rolled up and put them in the oven. You could do salmon, you can do diepoise with seafood, marinara mix, anything you want. Crepe leftover are just great. If you fill them up, roll them up, bake them. But that's for another recipe. So I hope to see you soon. See you next week for Cooking with Frenchy and with another beautiful recipe I have in mind. Bye.